Hi guys, Paul here again, co-author of the book Quit Drinking in 30 Seconds, Revolutionary Way to Stop Drinking for Good. Here we are in the first month of October, or Stoptober as it's brilliantly called. It's that month where people who can choose to stop drinking can stop for the whole month based on it being October. And if that's you, good luck to you. You know, I'm not quite sure what the intent is of Stoptober. If it's an attempt to address the major drinking issue in the country, you know, if it is, it's laughable, because, you know, bear in mind, I went to a doctor once and asked for help to stop drinking, and basically diagnosed me as having a chronic case of silliness. You know, and he was right. Drinking alcoholically the way I drank was definitely silly. That does describe it, but it certainly doesn't diagnose it. And so, you know, if you can quit for a whole month based on it being October, you know, you'll feel better. It's a good idea, it's a good plan. But I suspect I'm not going to see too many guys in the doorways rolling up their sleeping bags, dusting themselves down and saying, "That's me done, I'll see you in November, lads." Because all Stoptober does for me is ram home the depth of the ignorance around the illness of alcoholism, of the powerlessness of people overtaking a drink. The application of logic, as I've mentioned in previous talks, like, it's October now, guys, let's all stop, to a disease that has no basis in logic is painfully ill-researched by those behind it. And I can only imagine the amount of money it costs to do it. That money would be better spent, you know, tackling the illness. But I'm not going to get all party political broadcast on you now. It's just, for me, it seems relevant to mention it, that if you're out there and your friends are stopping on Stoptober and you give it, you know, your best shot, and you get to this Friday, even though today you're absolutely determined, then you probably should stay tuned. It may have something that can help. Because to my mind, to my knowledge, I don't claim to be any sort of an expert on every illness in the world. I'm certainly qualified to speak on alcohol abuse, but to my mind, alcoholism is the only illness on the planet that actively tells us we don't have it. It actively tells us to tell the people who tell us that we do have it where to go and what to do when they get there. And even when they leave, we ponder often and think they're off their head. I'm just having a drink. But I think deep down we know there's something more to it. And, you know, the reasons for that are still the topic of debate now. I have my own personal opinions on it based on some research I done. I personally believe that you know, my body is particularly allergic to alcohol, and when I take a drink, I don't get the same chemical reaction as, let's say, my brothers or friends or people I know who can drink, have a few and go home. You know, my body reacts, it's toxic, so I flood myself with all sorts of endorphins, all sorts of chemistry goes on, and I become addicted to my own neurotransmitters. And, you know, I get a high when I start. But as drinking goes on, I can't produce those chemicals, and I can't get that high, and I can't even get a normality after a while. And if that was all I needed to know, then I would stop in October. And I could stop on the 1st of October. But a few years ago, I wouldn't have been able to stay stopped on the 1st of October. See, that's why the book is called Quit Drinking in 30 Seconds, because that's all quitting drinking takes. Staying stopped is a different matter. But what probably some of you haven't thought of yet is that, give or take, we're awake for 16 hours a day. So you don't have to stay stopped for October. You have to stay stopped until bedtime. And that's a far more reasonable challenge. It's still, excuse me, it's still way beyond the realms of possibility for people in a very advanced stage of chronic alcoholism. But it's a lot easier than let's quit for a whole month. Let's quit for today. You know, make that decision to quit for you, not for the calendar. For you. And admit that you need help. You know, we've written a book that we know can help. It's helping people already. It's called Quit Drinking in 30 Seconds. There should be a link below. Check it out. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's only going to take you 40 minutes to read it, and it's absolutely free. What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? If you don't believe me today and you drink again tomorrow, the day after, or haven't made that decision to stop for October, then maybe try and remember what I said here and check us out. I'm a recovered alcoholic. You know, I feel your pain. I know, I've been to the dark places, but my God, I tell you what, recovering that illness, there is no high like it. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll get to speak to you again, preferably after you've read the book. Have a great day. Have a great October.